Hello everyone, Cheshire the Cat on the scene with more Danganronpa. Screw it, let's figure out what just happened. The massive high school towers over all other buildings in the bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Wait, are we all the way back at the beginning? Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year, which was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend the school. One, you need to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. I have to play through the whole game again then. Oh god. Oh. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk out in the middle of the same boring class or whatever, but what was I doing here just now? There wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Yeah, this is how Chapter 1 went. Gah! Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then, I was awake. Or was it just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell! I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. I recognize that rocket. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. What the heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. He used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, the pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Yeah, there's a rocket and a tank. It's best not to think about too much about what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Good thing it didn't concuss me on the way down. Cheshire, hey Scarlet. What's over here? Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in a school's garbage pit? The rocket is from the first execution at the start of the game. Yeah, I thought I recognized it. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around a bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked on all sides. But that's still not enough reason for me to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. Well, that's a mood. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, What fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. I watched a pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over here? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Well, let's check it out. Did a giant pile of trash just fall down here? Yeah, you. I carefully stretched my hand out to whatever that was that tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the garbage, I look at the top left corner of the screen, and all I saw was Byakuya's somehow... Wait, does that mean Byakuya's rubbish? Scream into the void? Alright, scream into the void. As soon as my voice mod processes that I needed. Any minute now. Any minute now. Voice mod. You want to work for me? Ready, please? Oh. Oh. So, how was everyone's August? I promise I'm not trying to cheat you. My voice mod application is actually like just white screen at the moment. Well, this is awkward. Will that work? Oh boy. Do I have to reload voice mod? Byakuya is rubbish. I mean, Byakuya is rubbish. Alright, I want to get the game going, so I'll scream without the voice filter what I was going to say. The only garbage in that pit is the beta of beta, the bottom of bottoms, the one and only Makoto Naegi! Alright. And with that out of my system, before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Oh, that explains the random image of her wearing cup noodles on her head. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again. First, I have something for you. You know when you said bottom of bottoms, I have expected you to say my name? No, we already determined that Makoto is someone even Maddie could top. This has been said in my chat for the last, 3 streams multiple times over. Blue, I apologize. I'm still getting used to that. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead and eat. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Ugh, that really hit the spot. I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not! After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. So... But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but... there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. I'm sorry to say this again, but just making sure I got this right. You are going by blue now, correct? Because I know you were trying that, and I didn't know if you had cemented onto it or not. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for a very important reason. Yes, they are. Okay. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak.
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I have no memory of what my purpose was. That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory? They're doing important junk right now, so they can't reply themselves, but they are going by blue now. Okay. Then, is it really true? You lost your memory.
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
And I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, then we all would have worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? Mastermind is one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. It was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Yeah, what was that part about? That's just like the dream I had before, but... Why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing. right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you to help right away, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. So, can you do something about the door? I better talk to Kyoko. Yeah. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate
Correct.
detective? And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy was there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Ooh.
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains why Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what.
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However,
Listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I'd snuck into the headmaster's room. What did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess and the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. I have some blue tack, that's all I wanted to say. Blue tack? Question mark? Is this some kind of a
Indeed.
map? It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and the key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms for faculty use. Blue tack. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
Once I got in there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so,
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important and really ominous. We're not done here.
however,
There's no camera, no monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It had to do with Mukuro Ikusaba.
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but then that means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. And You killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. Was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use a class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim? Yeah, because they attacked us in our sleep. You know what I'm talking about, right? You mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It had to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind,
Indeed.
right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if it's true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere,
Correct.
right? You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all
In
mean?
other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event.
That's right.
Talking about what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
indeed.
Then they're, make no mistake, they're the root of all evil, of all the evil that forced us to go through with this. That is the ultimate despair, and that is our real enemy. Huh. Well, 24 minutes is pretty short for an episode. Let's keep going. You received the Dream Island rocket present. Save your data? Yeah, 5 alive. Ah! What the? There we go. Huh. Well, alright then. The ultimate despair? A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. The same people put together the killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. Most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our final enemy has finally been revealed. Oops, our enemy has finally been revealed. I can't English. But right now,
Anyway,
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. I don't wanna... Alright, do you have that big key of yours? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that got you from the headmaster?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I'd never part with it. And it can open any door in the school,
that's
right?
right.
We should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, we can use the key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Get the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... Yes! It opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. Quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. So this is it, huh? Finally. We're finally free. There wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. The ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, and ultimate death. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder heading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Ooh. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so
Hey.
far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So,
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered my sacred duty. My family's seen it that way. Then, is your family
Wrong.
famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it. Pride?
indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But our family creed, and we do what we must. It's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you'd go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because of how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you're reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So,
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented and had a promising
However,
future, but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I'd never had the chance to become a detective. Guys, I dropped the blue tack. I've lost it. Uh-oh. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, or what she might be feeling. All I could tell is that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative, and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. And that's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing I can never forgive.
so...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, it was a good thing.
However,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life, and I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of this shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt about me years ago. Forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood. Nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Okay.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul? I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. Ugh. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it. On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember the hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached with my right hand and pushed up against the hatch. Hatched open with ease, and so... It looks like we're back. I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of here. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I'd never have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never imagined that's where this led. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, then I'm worried about you, too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then,
Then let's just get a concrete answer.
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. She said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over how we get caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. Mastermind's ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so...
Mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the Mastermind let their guard down.
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little... No, I'm super uneasy about this. Well, we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the
Shall we
gym.
go?
Let's get going. I guess that's that. I'm gonna... This might just be the paranoia in me. But I'm gonna do a save. Right here and now. Because I just get the feeling that something major's happening. Wagaba, that be a bot! Can somebody bonk that? Por favor. Thank you. Oh god. I actually feel like I'm sneaking around. What the crap? Bottle alert, bot. It looks like it's already been bonked. Thank you. Alright, teddy bear.
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here?
Exactly how I thought he'd react. Are you really gonna be okay?
You were supposed to be punished!
Whoop. Thank you for the sub. Thran, thank you for the 4-month sub streak in a row. How you doing, Lil? Wow, I'm bad with names today. Hoping you're doing well, Lil. Are you okay with me still calling you Thran, or do you want me to start calling you Lil from now on? Just want to make sure I get that right.
Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Pog, you call me what you like, but I prefer Lil if I'm like that.
Gotcha.
Kyoko! Do whatever you feel you have to.
What?
However,
Before you do, let me just say one thing.
now, if
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose? You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right?
Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But the Makoto chose to overlook my lie. Your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person could protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed,
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
however,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. Thank you for the care package. That is a stretch. Posture check. And I would hydrate, but I'm actually out of water. I'll have to get more. Or between episodes. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it should surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right?
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well,
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that.
What is this, a comedy routine? You make such a bold claims without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. Jimmy Kudo taught me that.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
You know, I just made the Jimmy Kudo reference on a whim, or Shinichi Kudo, depending on which version you watched.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he would never have come to you so willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared for another execution, he would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
what the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume you killed him because what we're saying is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope. Your precious TV show.
Hey,
Of course. Well, you can say we're making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn your despair fair and
that's
square,
what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice.
So, what's this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, would that make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what would the mastermind have to accept that challenge? They'll probably just execute me without saying another word.
Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed.
Perry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for more bear jokes.
Yoko Best Girl. Hey, Kenny! Long time no see! Can we get a shout out for Kenny? And also a thran for Lil VTube. I didn't ask for that earlier and I apologize. I am back with Taco Bell, Elefante. Hi. Perfect timing, Elefante. Your room is better. Uh-oh.
Now that what you've suggested might be plausible, it would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
Can barely
Let's have-
contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown!
He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long way to climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
Guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here.
All the mysteries?
That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely
then that'll be
contain
enough to
myself.
qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along.
Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that,
We'll face execution, right?
I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me?
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
And when we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement?
You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that.
Huh? Mukuro's trial's no exception, then it's part of the regulations. Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro...
It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough with the puns. Here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking! I've got nothing left to say to you! So get lost, would ya?
Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here!
Okay, I'm going. Just, you're really gonna let me go?
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. Huh. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but... Welcome back! I saw your tweet, Maddie. All good? But somehow, I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Just now, your stream schedule. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle's still ahead of us. On the blue tack, it's so dirty. Oh no! Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. I just got Twitch affiliate. Hey, nice! As we speak. Make sure to send me details, alright? But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so
They had no choice but to accept it. Huh?
because
It's all because of that one moment that the...
Ha Imagine have a stream schedule, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I feel that, Neps. Also, thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh, I barely ever do. Do you hop at the chance? Ugh, sorry. I said that out loud and it even hurt me. Guard down, like I said. So when was the mastermind let... Was it the mastermind let their guard down?
so
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world. Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
In other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult.
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. Heyo. Hello there, Sonic Nuggies. Nice name. Sonic Nuggies? They wanted to show the world.
it would seem
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all the rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, it makes sense. Those stupid regulations didn't exist. Nobody would have killed anybody. You know it's Kiyotaka's birthday. Tomorrow, I mean. Thank you.
in other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. To prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about
That's
the
right.
hope, right? And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that and try to prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? That's ridiculous!
it's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous and completely irrational. It's the kind of thing those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. Oh, but those. It's like a question mark? Despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto,
I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness.
in other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the mastermind had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all the proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. Ooh, sorry. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your
However-
challenge. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
And in the end, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. It looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if it showed my uneasiness, that would have just made it that much more uneasy. Yeah, probably right. How pathetic. I'm pretty sure I remember who the mastermind is.
However-
I think I figured out who it is. Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. And there's no option except to win.
Hey,
Before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. Who do you think it is? I'll share my theory between episodes so that it's not recorded on the YouTube because I don't want to be right. I'll share a theory later. Now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Right now we have to go
Shall
find
we
the
go?
others. They're probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Alright. On that note, I am going to, for the YouTube, call this an episode. Give myself a chance to refill my water cup, stretch my legs, get something to munch on because I'm actually kind of hungry. So for the folks on YouTube, this is Cheshire the Cat, signing off.